As usual, let us start with the snippets. The first one, presidential reference, governor cannot act as a super CM, Tamil Nadu. This has been going on for some time, tussle between Tamil Nadu state government and the governor of Tamil Nadu. And many a time I have done a few editorials also. Against that backdrop, presidential reference, governor cannot act as a super CM. We have a state, we have the state legislature, we have the CM, we have ministers. These people have the power. Above them, though governor is there, only for name's sake, titular head or titular head. And actual power is with the CM. If the governor tries to do something beyond a particular framework, then the legislature may not accept. Against that backdrop, Tamil Nadu has given a statement. Governor cannot act as a super CM. He is not above, though literally above CM. When it comes to powers, he is not above CM. CM is the ultimate for a particular state. Who has all the powers? The CM has the powers. Coming to the next snippet, a rare strike, 17 killed in Russian attack on Kyiv. This is the Ukrainian capital Kyiv, attacked by Russians, and how many people got killed? 17 people got killed. Otherwise, nothing to learn. Coming to the next snippet, here you can see a building collapsed. When you see parts of a building after the collapse, those parts are called rubble. We also use the word debris. And when you think of collapse, destroying a building, then you have to think of demolish, pull down a building. And when do you pull down a building or demolish a building? When it is in very bad shape. For that, we have to use the word dilapidated. Dilapidated building means very old and almost the life is over. Virar tragedy, here also 17 killed as illegal building collapses. Legal building, illegal building. Illegal building collapses. Because of that, how many people died? 17 people. All the related words you have to recollect. Parley means discussion. Should states be compensated for revenue loss? Imagine ours is a quasi-federal. Center is there, states are there. If states incur losses, do they have to be compensated for? That's a question. If you read the article, you understand. New GST reforms raise several questions. When you see the word raise, you have to recollect. Bulldoze also you can use. Pravalika, good. Outdated, obsolete, Divya. But obsolete has got a different meaning. Parley, deliberations, discussion, discourse, all these words you have to recollect. Rise, rose, risen, raise, raised, erased. It's about the powers of states. You can see PV Sindhu here causing a flutter. Cause a flutter means either confused or nervous excitement. But here simply excitement. What is the reason for that excitement? You should also think of the word Usha Rani, very good. Raise, R-A-Z-E. And R-A-G-E. So many related words are there, you have to. She has won a particular match, and based on that, she has entered quarterfinals. And that has caused a flutter, excitement. Sindhu stuns Wang, enters quarterfinals. I think you all know PV Sindhu. Shuttle badminton, once the top player. Let us go to the main headline of today's front page of the Hindu paper. US official calls conflict in Ukraine Modi's war. A particular US official has said, Ukraine war, if you look at it, he says conflict in Ukraine, Modi's war. Why he has said that? If you read the article, you understand. But it is a statement given by a particular US official. Nothing to learn as such. Coming to this one, Kim Putin will join Xi at September 3rd victory parade. It is about top leaders meeting at a particular place on the occasion of, on the eve of something. September 3rd victory parade. Coming to new amoebic encephalitis case in Kerala. Amoeba, microorganism, amoebic encephalitis case in Kerala. It's a disease, and when you look at this, you have to think of three words. What are the three words? Endemic, epidemic, pandemic. Endemic, local. Epidemic, larger area. Pandemic, across the countries. All the three words you have to recollect. Yes, row, you should think of aspirant. Row, spat, conflict, dispute. Very good. Security pact to be upgraded on PM's Japan visit. Here, pact means some sort of agreement, some sort of understanding. Security pact to be upgraded, that is in passive voice, they have to modify, they may modify on PM's Japan visit. CPI, ML, and RJD filed 82 objections against poll rolls. You all know Bihar poll, SIR poll rolls. Based on that, two groups, two parties, they have filed how many objections? 82 objections. That is huge. Here you can see the pic of Lord Ganesh until next year. But what is the news? Farewell Ganesh, an idol of Lord Ganesh, is immersed during Ganesh Chaturthi festivities in Mumbai on Thursday. One word is there, idol. Idol here, idol of Lord Ganesh. And you should recollect two more words. Idle, IDLE. Don't idle away your time. Don't waste your time. Ideal, perfect, matching. Ideal job, ideal place, ideal something. All the three words you should know. Immerse, submerge, related words. Festival, festivities, celebrations. Coming to this one, here we have pre-test for census 2027 to be held in October, November. You all know census related to population. They conduct once in 10 years, and at this time it has been delayed. Census 2027 to be held. That is in passive voice, the pattern, October, November. India, Canada name envoys signal end to bilateral row. Bilateral row, dispute between two countries. In the past, there was a problem between India and Canada because of terrorism. Now it has been over. Since it has been over, since it got over, they must have appointed or named envoys. Envoy, you have to recollect words like diplomat, ambassador. Coming to the last news item, or rather last but one, two terrorist soldiers killed as gunfight erupts during infiltration bid in Jammu and Kashmir. Usually the word erupt goes with volcanoes, volcanic eruption. Here gunfight erupts means it started suddenly. Erupt means in this context, as gunfight erupts means came into existence. And also one important word, infiltration. Infiltration means along the border, across the border, if some people try to enter a particular country illegally, that is known as infiltration. And this is a problem we come across along the borders. Infiltration bid. Here, bid means attempt. Generally, the word bid goes with auction, bidding, auction, highest bidder. But here, bid means attempt. Infiltration bid means infiltration attempt. All the three words are important. You have to know for sure. And the last one, industrial growth jumps to 4-month high of 3.5%. It is about industrial growth. Simple words, nothing to learn, but you have to remember. Sometimes they may ask, or you have to write about economy. That this will help in adding information. That's all from the front page. Let us go to today's editorial. This is the enrichment from today's editorial. Let us go to. Before I talk about editorial vocabulary, today's editorial is all about recurring monsoons. We have monsoons every year, and whenever there is a monsoon impact, the impact is devastating. We lose property, we lose lives, and infrastructure gets affected. Because it's a recurring problem, what the editorial says, since we know it is going to happen, we should take preventive measures. There is a saying in English. What is it? Prevention is better than cure. But here editorial says that governments are reacting, not trying to be proactive, trying to be reactive. So it takes a stand and says government should not respond after the disaster. They should take preventive measures to alleviate the impact before the event, because we know what is going to happen as it happens every year. Broadly, this is about monsoons, impact of monsoon. I've done a lot of editorials. We have about 15 words. Many of these words our students know for sure. We have got so many times. So only 3 words, of the 3 words also, only one is a new word. Remaining 2 also we have got many a time. Let us see what the first one is about. Deja vu. Have you heard of this any time? There's a strange phenomenon, a feeling of having already experienced a situation. Sometimes what happens, you go to a particular place, you feel, I have visited this place, I have already visited this place looks familiar. Or you're talking to your friends, somewhere you feel this conversation has already taken place. Have you ever experienced something like that? That is known as deja vu. It's a French word. Example, the speech created a sense of deja vu as it echoed last year's promises. Someone, while giving a speech, repeats last year's promises, then it is like already we have heard, familiar, deja vu. Okay, Ray Talent says he has experienced many a time. Word forms used only as a noun, there's no other form. No verb, no adjective form in English. Word combinations, sense of deja vu, eerie. Eerie means a strange, weird deja vu, political deja vu, economic deja vu. Synonyms, familiarity, repetition, recurrence, similarity, reminiscence, an important word. Antonyms, novelty, originality, unfamiliarity. Novelty is an important word, something new. Denudation. You all know the word, inundation. Whenever we talk about floods, we use words like deluge, inundation, floods, submerge, all the related words. Here, related but not the exact meaning. Denudation means erosion. Part of speech noun, the process of stripping away, covering in geography, wearing away of land by erosion or weathering. Imagine the top layer gets eroded. Then we use the word denudation. Example, unchecked mining has caused large-scale denudation of forest, means losing forests. Word forms denude, verb, denuded, adjective, denudational, adjective. Word combination, soil denudation, ecological denudation, rapid denudation, denudation of slopes in this context. Synonyms, a simple word, denudation means what? Erosion. Erosion, stripping, bearing, degradation, depletion. Bare, bare infinitive, bare body, bare feet, without any covering. And when we say degradation, combination changes. It goes more with standards, quality. Depletion, combinations change. We use with numbers, depleting numbers. You can use with standards also. Antonyms of protection, preservation, covering, conservation, afforestation. Deforestation opposite, afforestation. Sans is an important word, perhaps we have got for the first time, but it's a preposition, means without. Part of speech preposition, without, lacking. Example, the meeting continued sans proper documentation. Means what? The meeting continued without documents, without documentation. Word forms, fixed preposition, no verb, no adjective forms. Word combinations, sans preparation, sans hesitation, sans support, sans resources. Means what? Without resources. That's right. Who is this? Satish Kumar. Barefoot. Synonyms, without, lacking, minus, devoid of, an important word, absent. Antonyms, with, accompanied by, provided with, equipped with, possessing. Now let us go to the editorial, an important editorial because quite often bank exams, SSC also, they give passages or close test or para jumble, usually passage close test based on nature, based on environment, based on natural disasters. Then once you read an editorial like this, We have about 15 words. We have got so many times. All the words you get a chance to revise, consolidate. Newcomers, they get a chance to learn 15 important words and you become familiar. The context, you develop contextual awareness that will help in the exam. Deja vu on India's monsoon vulnerabilities. You all know the word vulnerable. To be in a weak situation where someone can exploit you, and to be in a situation where someone has a chance to exploit you or affect you or make a negative impact on you. What is the main idea? India must reduce monsoon vulnerabilities, not just build responsibilities. In this context, you have to recollect two words, one proactive, the other reactive. What is the difference? Proactive means you take the initiative. Before something happens, you take the initiative and you do something. Reactive, after the incident, you try to react. Here, editorial takes a clear stand. We should not take the second part, responsibilities. We are trying to build responsibilities, means after the incident, but we should try to reduce the vulnerabilities, that is before the incident. There is a saying in English, what is it? Prevention is better than cure. That is right. Very good. And this year, I don't know, those who read newspapers, they all know, this year the impact of the monsoon has been devastating in the northern region. And today, if you take our country, the southern part, the peninsular part, we have two types of monsoons. One, the major one, southwest monsoon. It starts here, goes that side, and then it comes back. That is known as northeast monsoon. Northeast monsoon is also known as retreating monsoon. Retreat means to come back. It goes all the way there, southwest monsoon, and it comes back, northeast monsoon, also known as retreating monsoon. And this year, the impact has been more on the northern region. A few states like Himachal Pradesh, Jammu and Kashmir, Uttarakhand, a few villages got washed away. They disappeared, just like that. Heavy rain has left a trail. Whatever you see, we have important words, we have got many a time. Trail, trial. Trial goes with a quote. The entire process, we use the word trial. And trail, leave something behind. Here the impact is left behind. Heavy rain, when you see heavy rain, all our students know, I don't want to say, what are the related words? Torrential rains, rain, cats and dogs, heavy rain, heavy downpour, and rain in torrents. All these words you should recollect. Heavy rain has left, present perfect active voice, a trail of destruction across North India. That's what I was talking about. This year, the impact has been more in the northern region. To substantiate that, the writer tells us what are the different states which got affected because of the southwest monsoon. Several districts have been cut off across Himachal Pradesh. Jammu and Kashmir reported over 40 deaths, while swollen rivers breached, flood marks. Breach means there's a crack, we say breach, and violation of agreement, terms and conditions, and going above the flood marks, breach. Breached flood marks in Srinagar and Anantnag. First state, Himachal Pradesh. Second one, Jammu and Kashmir. Third one, Punjab. They haven't mentioned Uttarakhand, but Uttarakhand also experienced a few villages got washed away. In Punjab, entire villages have been inundated. Have been inundated. Which tense is that? Present perfect passive voice. Inundated and farmland has disappeared. When flood waters enter the villages you come across farmlands, all those farmlands disappear. The national capital too, Delhi also not spared, reported excessive rainfall and a surging Yamuna. The Yamuna, surging. Surge means two meanings. One, sudden increase. Second, sudden forward movement. The intensity and the volumes of the southwest monsoon have been swinging sharply. Have been swinging, an important tense. Which tense is that? Present perfect continuous active voice. I have been teaching since 9. What is the function of present perfect continuous? Actions begin in the past, come to the present, may go into future. I started 9. I started at 9. Now I'm teaching. I will continue till 10. Then someone asks me, "Sir, what are you doing?" I can simply say I'm teaching. But to be very precise, to be specific, I will say I have been teaching since 9 a.m. I have been teaching for the last 20 minutes. Since specific for time period. Have been swinging sharply between the extremes. Means sometimes this side, sometimes that side. August rain has arrived and monsoon in our country 4 months. Onset of monsoon usually in the first week of June, but peak months are July, August, then it may go to September. June, July, August, September, monsoon months. August is the ultimate, the peak. August rain has arrived in concentrated bursts, means one place heavy downpour, overwhelming fragile slopes. Overwhelming means something beyond, something more, something in excess when it comes to the impact. Imagine there are 100 students, I ask a question, one or two students respond, then I say the response has been lukewarm. But 80%, 80 students respond, then I say overwhelming response. And here, overwhelming fragile slopes means making more, a bigger impact on fragile slopes. Fragile, we have got many a time, delicate, and you have to also recollect the word brittle, easily broken. Fragile slopes in the Himalaya, bursting banks in the plains, impact of the monsoon, and inundating low lying regions, inundation, floods. This erraticism, there's one word here, erratic. Erratic, one meaning strange, weird, not unpredictable. Unpredictable. You can also think of sporadic, scattered, random. This erraticism has cut across geographies in a sign of the monsoon's increasing unpredictability. But it is not true. The consequences go beyond immediate damage. Immediate damage is one thing, but impact may last for a long time. They may go beyond the immediate damage. Intense rain over short periods amplifies. Amplify goes with music industry to magnify, amplifier. Intense rain over short periods amplifies local erosion. It intensifies local erosion. Erosion of what? Himalayan region, the foothills of the Himalayas, removing the top layer. Mountain slopes destabilize and raise risk for settlements far removed. They make a negative impact, obviously, and those who live over there, they are under risk. Relief in this context cannot be confined to reactive measures. Main idea is being touched. We should be proactive, not reactive. Relief in this context cannot be confined to reactive measures. The knowledge that concentrated destructive rainfall is now a recurring possibility makes it imperative. Now we all know this monsoon every year, and it is going to cause a devastating impact. And based on that, once you are aware it's a recurring problem, you cannot escape. You should be prepared. Makes it imperative. Imperative means what? Important, crucial, vital. Makes it imperative states and the center to invest in preventive strategies. Once you know it is going to happen, recurring problem, it happens every year, you should take preventive measures. You should not wait till it happens and then you take some actions that is like reactive. The same stand is being projected. Continuing to treat such events and unforeseeable emergencies is to deny the evidence already at hand. What the government say, monsoon, cloudburst, impact of monsoon, cloudburst, and sudden flash floods, they say unprecedented. But they happen every year. You cannot say unprecedented. Already happened. We have evidence. Look at this. Denying the evidence already at hand. We have the evidence. Every year they happen. These incidents do happen. Then how can you say unprecedented? When someone says a recurring problem, someone says unprecedented, it shows that they're trying to escape from responsibility. They're trying to evade responsibility. We cannot use that term unprecedented. Indeed, framing each calamity as unprecedented. Calamity means what? Mercurial, unpredictable. Very good. Who is this? Excuse me. Nishkala, wonderful. I appreciate that. Once we got this word about Donald Trump, mercurial means what? Unpredictable. One meaning. It has other meanings as well. Here it says calamity. Calamity, natural calamity. You have to recollect words like, yes, Sangeeta, catastrophic, disaster, mishap, unfortunate incident. All these words should be at your fingertips. Each calamity as unprecedented distracts from the lessons that should have already been learned. Every year it happens, you should learn lessons. You must have learned lessons. But whenever it happens, you say unprecedented, you're trying to distract people from the lessons you have already learned. So, not acceptable. Every year they happen, how can you say unprecedented? In Himalayan states, forest, now the editorial talks about the reasons behind. In Himalayan states, forest clearance and road widening continue sans means without adjustments such as slope safe engineering in eco sensitive zones, despite experts warning of irreversibly weakened slopes. In that region, the slopes have become weak, and based on that, experts have suggested they should, before they take up developmental activity, they should focus on slope safe engineering in eco sensitive zones. Experts have warned, but they are not listening to the experts' words and continuing with forest clearance, road widening continues, sans means without adjustment such as slope safe engineering in eco sensitive zones, despite experts' warning of irreversibly weakened slopes. Slopes have become weak and we cannot change. As catchment's buffering capacity shrinks, if there is a catchment area and the water gets accumulated over there, then you don't have to worry about floods because water got accumulated. But these catchment areas are shrinking. Then they cannot hold a lot of water, and that water comes out and it results in flash floods. The sentence talks about that. As catchment's buffering capacity shrinks, the chance of slope failure rises while silt accumulates in dams and rivers downstream, worsening the flood load. Catchment areas are not there, then obviously it results in low lying areas that get inundated. Yet, despite repeated disasters, the early warning and evacuation architecture remains underdeveloped. Yet is a contrasting word, and despite also contrasting, yet you can say, however, despite repeated disasters, you have to take a pause. There's a comma also. Punctuation is important. Very good, rare talent. Silt, muck, debris, rubble, all these words you should think of. Yet, despite repeated disasters, the early warning and evacuation architecture remains underdeveloped. Evacuate. Whenever there's an earthquake, whenever there's a natural disaster, people over there, they are shifted to some other place. That is known as evacuation and rehabilitation also. The capacity to forecast heavy rain has improved, but it is not being translated into reliable ground level warnings. Today, prediction has become to a great extent reliable because of technology. The capacity to forecast heavy rain has improved, but contrasting information, but it is not being translated into reliable ground level warnings. They're not using that information, they're not giving ground level warnings. If they don't give ground level warnings in time, obviously the impact will be negative. Relief agencies mobilize once the damage has occurred, but systematic drills, pre-positioned supplies, and community preparedness remain insufficient. This is like reacting. After the incident, they react. But the editorial takes a stand and says beforehand they should be prepared. But systematic drills, pre-positioned supplies, and community preparedness remain insufficient. Sadly, states and the center continue to pursue strategic road projects and urban expansion with urgency. Even in landscapes repeatedly flagged, means marked, as unstable, while climate resilient infrastructure lags. Resilient means what? Withstanding ability in this context. Lag means not there. They are not up to the mark. In spite of this bad situation, they are pursuing strategic road projects and urban expansion. Obviously, the impact is going to be negative. Compensatory afforestation and rehabilitation rarely match the qualitative attributes of what has been lost. We lose so much whenever there is a crowd burst, whenever we have flash floods, we lose so much. But to deal with that, we need to focus on two things: compensatory afforestation and rehabilitation. But these things, they are not matching to what has been lost every time. How does it end? The cumulative effect, total effect, is visible as denuded slopes, means the top layer removed, shrinking catchment areas, and populations at increasingly higher risk. Based on what is the total impact of this denuding slopes, that is, denuded slopes, shrinking catchment areas, and populations obviously in that region, they are under threat. Their lives are jeopardized. Relief operations command headlines and budgets, but unless sustainable infrastructure, landslide mitigation, and early warning systems are pursued equally seriously, the next monsoon spell will launch another cycle of loss. If certain precautions are not taken, same thing, same story will be repeated. Next year also monsoon, next year also same devastating impact, next year also loss of property, loss of infrastructure, loss of lives. What are the preventive measures to be taken? Relief operations command headlines and budgets, no doubt about that. But before that, something has to be done. What are those things? Sustainable infrastructure. The word sustainable has two meanings: one, to maintain, another, to use the resources wisely. Landslide mitigation. All our students know mitigate, alleviate, assuage, reduce the intensity of something. And early warning systems are pursued equally seriously. If they pursue these with the same seriousness, we can see positive impact. Otherwise, same story will be repeated. Shifting from acclaiming resilience post facto to systematically reducing vulnerabilities beforehand remains overdue. Instead of reacting after the incident, before the incident, you try to prevent, you try to reduce vulnerabilities. That is important. And they haven't done it, it is overdue. Means time to do, time to focus on that, time to focus on preventing measures and prevention measures. And also, there's a saying, as I said, prevention is better than cure. Entire editorial talks about the same thing. An important editorial, you have to develop contextual awareness. Try to answer these questions. First one, first five based on reading comprehension skill. It is not the theme, it is the argument. What is the central argument? India must reduce vulnerabilities to monsoons through preventive strategies. Two key words. No one has responded. C. Very good. Answer is C. The author criticizes the tendency to describe each calamity as unprecedented. Writer does not accept government saying unprecedented. Why does he do that? Why does he or she doesn't accept calling the impact unprecedented? Because disasters in India are minor, because it distracts from recognizing recurring patterns and implementing lessons. Once they say unprecedented, they are trying to escape from the responsibility because it distracts from recognizing recurring patterns and implementing lessons. B is the answer. This is a very good question. Which of the following is not mentioned? Usually, I tell students something like questions which ask you mentioned, not mentioned, true, false. They are nothing but traps. You have to be careful. If you are really good at English, you have time, you take up. Otherwise, better to ignore. Forest clearance mentioned, road widening mentioned, urban expansion mentioned, shrinking catchment areas mentioned. Nowhere the editorial talks about solar energy projects. So not mentioned, very good. You guys got it right. The tone of the passage can best be described as what? It is about natural disasters, negative impact of monsoon, devastating impact of monsoon. Nothing positive here. It's all about analysis and suggestions, remedies, how to prevent. Laudatory, praiseworthy, praise, not relevant, sarcastic, not relevant, neutral, not relevant, alarmist, fear inducing, no. Critical yet prescriptive. Writer gives a few suggestions, remedies based on that prescriptive. Answer is B. The word erraticism in the passage refers to. Erratic means what? From that you get erraticism. Regular patterns in rainfall, sudden shifts and unpredictability in rainfall. Erratic, what is the keyword? Unpredictable. Yes, B is the answer. Now let us go to questions based on exam topics. Nowadays, last 2 years, a new pattern has emerged, error location. What is that pattern? They give a paragraph and down they give the options. Read the given text, identify the number of errors, 3, 5, 7. Last option, no error. That's why I have not divided. You have to read and tell me how many errors are there or no errors at all. These are not easy. You have to read meticulously. In urging the union government to work on guidelines to regulate speech on social media, the Supreme Court of India is seeking to empower an executive that is already weaponizing the legal limits on freedom of expression. Seems perfect. Only one student has responded. Answer is no error. There is no error whatsoever. Sentence is perfect, but not easy. We have a question on fillers. Under the overbearing atmosphere of censored expression, that means a negative context, negative situation. Truths and ideas that must be reckoned with for a functioning democracy are because someone is being controlled, then certain things are essential for democracy. How do they control? They try to suppress. That means we need a negative word. Here, encouraged a positive, glorified positive, celebrated positive, enlightened positive. Stippled, to suffocate, make someone feel suffocated. Answer is C. Context is negative, we need a negative word. Citizens find themselves constantly looking over their shoulder before expressing themselves, a situation that creates a climate of fear. Climate of fear, negative, rather than we need something positive. Liberty, positive, hostility, negative. Hostile means enmity, antagonistic nature. Oppression, suppress, censorship, not allowing to express oneself, speech or writing. Subjugation also means the same, suppressing or oppressing. Only one positive word, which one is that? Liberty. Word usage, this is not easy, quite challenging. What is the answer? Choose a sentence where the word instrumentalize is used in the same sense as in the passage. In the passage, it has been used to convey the idea tools, as a tool or as tools. The teacher tried to instrumentalize the syllabus to make students score high. No. Use the word tool to substitute and see if it makes sense. The regime instrumentalized government agencies to suppress dissent. No. Government agencies, they don't use. She instrumentalized her musical skills for personal enjoyment. No, this is also not possible. The scientist instrumentalized data into an experiment. He used data as a tool to convert the data into an experiment. Answer is D. He instrumentalized a chair as a makeshift ladder. This is also not correct. What is the answer? D is the answer. Wonderful. I appreciate those who have got it right. Phrase replacement. To regard distasteful humor, however disturbing it might be, as a problem to be solved through the courts and by executive rulemaking, is falling into a deceptive trap of imagined righteousness. Is falling into. You have to choose. If you feel it is not correct, one of the four options. If you feel it is correct, fifth option. Is falling into something. And there's a clue also. Falling into what? A deceptive trap. Fall into a trap. There's nothing wrong with that expression. Means what? Answer is E. No replacement required. That's all for today. I hope you guys have got enriched and have a